This is Minuet from the first suite.
Oh,
Yeah. Okay. So.
awesome, man.
Thanks. Thanks for listening.
Yeah, I don't have much to say about it. I think you do a good job. I mean, what do you? I mean, do you want to know how I play it, or like? Because I think you have an interpretation that works, and I don't really have much to say about it, honestly.
Yeah. Yeah.
For those of you who don't know, Zachery Cohen is the principal bassist of the St. Paul Chamber Orchestra in Minneapolis. No, in St. Paul. It's not in Minneapolis.
Well, yeah, I live in Minneapolis, but it's in St. Paul. Yeah.
So this guy lives in Minneapolis, folks. We all been hearing what's been going on in the news there.
Yeah.
It's crazy, man.
It is crazy. Yeah. Yeah, no justice, no peace.
Are there any stores open?
A lot of places have been wrecked just from rioting, but like my neighborhood is particularly the area where a lot of the protests were happening, and like National Guard has been here for like a week or more.
Are they still there?
I don't think that they're still here. I mean, there were helicopters, but I don't hear them anymore.
Dang, man, that's crazy, dude.
Yeah.
Cool, man. Well, thanks for coming. I guess you can come to the next one if you feel more comfortable with the cranberry juice. I know it can be difficult. So
yeah,
it is difficult. I mean, but I think it pays off.
How do you remember everything when you're playing it?
Well, with all my solos, I don't write them. I usually don't write them down, but I want to share the music, so that's why I write them down a year later. So, I don't know. I feel the feels, and then I just go from there, I guess.
Wow. Amazing.
Would you like to stay and listen to the other basses?
Yeah.
I'm sure they would like some input from a chamber orchestra bassist, conductorless, right?
Yeah.
That's cool. Yeah, that's a little harder without a conductor. So, hey, we'll go on to, let's see who else wants. Let's go to Aaron? Wait, Will's back. Will's back, right?
Yeah, I'm
Will's
here.
back. Let's go with Will because he went back.
Yo, really quick. So what are the settings they want me to put on for the optimal?
Are you using
hearing?
Windows?
Yeah, I'm on my laptop now. Yeah.
Go to the microphone. There should be like an up button.
Okay. Yeah.
Go to audio settings.
Audio settings. Okay.
Now, all the way down to your right, there should be an advanced button.
Okay.
Click that, and there should be a check mark that says show in meeting option to enable original sound from microphone.
And just click that.
Click that, and where it says suppress persistent background noise, click disable. And where it says suppress intermittent background noise, click disable.
Okay. So suppress persistent background noise and suppress intermittent.
Yeah, disable all of that.
Okay.
And once you exit out of that, there should be an option that says turn on original sound. Click that, and it should turn blue.
Yeah, I think I got it.
You got it. I think, yeah, great. Now we can hear 100% of you and your bass.
All right. Let's try this Bottesini LG. Yeah, let's go.
Hey, can I stop you there?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Hey, it's great, man.
Thank you. Thank you.
So you've been to my previous class with the excerpts.
I've been to one of them. Yeah.
And I talk about what was the main point I was trying to express in that class, and tell everybody if you remember.
Well, one of the main things that you talked about specifically when you were working with Ethan, you said before to start, just like take a couple seconds and just kind of internalize what you want to make, like what do you want the audience to hear, and how are you going to interpret that. And so I try to replicate the same thing. And so with this, Bottesini's Elegy, I kind of looked up the word elegy, and it kind of had like a sentimental lament kind of connotation to it. And so I tried to interpret that.
So do you sing it before you, have you sung it before you played it?
I've actually caught myself humming it from time to time, but yeah, I guess you could say that.
Because I want to hear more singing. Like I'm trying to make a connection. When I'm listening to your Bottesini, it sounds like good I mean, you can work on intonation. I think you know that.
Oh, for
but
sure.
It
Absolutely.
sounds like
Yeah.
a bass player.
Absolutely.
It sounds like a double bassist, but it doesn't sound like a singer. And so when I'm listening to you, I'm trying to make that connection mentally, and I just can't. And I'm wondering what we can do to help me make that connection. And I think just from my experience, and chime in and everybody else if you want, I think what needs to be done is you really need to define that singing sound. Maybe sing it a lot, like a lot, and then once you get that sound, the yo dee da dee da dee da. Ask yourself after singing it, okay, how can I replicate that? Like you just said, do I use a lot of vibrato? Do I use a little vibrato? Do I speed it up at certain portions? Do I do a slide here or do I do a slide here? But everything that is going through your head, I suggest thinking in a way where you're trying to make that connection. That way, when I'm listening to you play, I can say, this is an elegy and this is someone singing.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
So if here's kind of a thing I think will help. If you can sing in front of 10 bass players, the beginning of the elegy, then you can definitely sing this when you're by yourself. So you want to go ahead and try and sing it like the beginning line.
Sure, yeah.
That's fine. Cool, man. Hey, that's great. So what it sounds like is it sounds like you're low energy. You're somewhat bored.
Oh, wait, I'm sorry. Repeat that again.
It sounds like you're low energy, and you sound like you're bored when you sing it.
Oh.
So when you
my
play,
bad.
so when you play it like you just sung it, it's going to come across as low energy, and it sounds like you're bored.
Okay. For
That's
sure.
what you want. You can play it, and you can sell it. And as long as I can make that connection, if I can understand that it sounds like someone singing is feeling bored and feeling like low energy, then I've understood you. It doesn't matter if it's bored or low energy. It doesn't matter. It's high octane, appassionato, an elegy. It doesn't matter what it is, as long as I'm able to feel something. So you might let's try this. Can you play what you just sung? Right?
Okay.
It's probably going to have to sound low energy and sound bored, but whatever it is, I need to.
So like play the way I just sung it with like kind of like low energy.
Exactly like the way you just.
Okay.
Great. So, other than the intonation, which I think you, obviously, if you spend more time practicing it, it gets better.
Yeah.
But what I heard was a unique interpretation of the elegy. Now, it was clear. I mean, it sounded not the way I would play it, which is fine, but it sounded
Sure.
more what do you call it? Low key, more like subtle. Like when you see the river or the pond, like there's no waves. It's very calm. and I felt calm. As long as I'm able to feel something, that's all. I think I'm getting my money's worth as a listener. So if you can really um, practice singing the way you sing, which is unique, and then trying to make it sound like the way you sing it, the closer you get to the way you sing it, the more I'm able to understand what you're trying to say.
Okay. So actually, I have a quick question for you, Xavier. So in that case, would you say that what's more important, like me trying to like play the best I can, or like the or like how you like interpret the music and how you feel about it? Like, what would you like prioritize? Like, I'm talking like in the sense of like not you, but like the audience would feel it.
Well, let's see. Well, okay, so I think you're asking like, should I prioritize technique over, like the inner voice I'm trying to build? Is that what you're trying to say?
Yeah, I mean, obviously you're gonna practice technique, but like, what would you say is like, you know what I mean? Like what would you say is has a bigger impact? Would you say?
Well, first, the audience are most of them are probably not going to play bass if they don't understand the thumb position, the fourth position. But what the audience does understand is the feeling.
Okay.
And prioritizing that, I mean, I don't know. We feel things every day. It's not like we're prioritizing how we feel. Of course, we're going to prioritize how we feel because we're human. We just need to be able to communicate that to the audience, right? Sometimes we play a piece of music and then we try to think, oh, okay, I'll listen to a recording, then I'm going to make it sound like that recording. But when we listen to that, someone who's trying to sound like someone else, it sounds fake.
Yeah.
It sounds like someone who's trying too hard to sound like somebody else, and it's more effective if your own
like
voice
genuine,
is heard.
Yeah, for sure.
Genuine, yeah, I can tell when you're faking.
Yeah, for sure.
Right.
I really like the example that you used, because just the other day I was just watching some like the Bottesini concerto, the second one obviously, and I saw a video of you. I think it was like 2014 or something. I think you played it for Spinks, and I'm not saying this because you're here. Like legitimately, I think that's the best version of Bottesini I've ever heard, but because it sounded so different from everything else that I've heard, and the way you portray yourself as you're doing it.
Well, yeah, I mean, obviously I could have played it like Edgar, who was my teacher at Curtis. I could have played it like, I don't know, anybody else, Thomas Martin. But I wanted to bring something fresh to this competition. It's a really hard competition.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, Sphinx is huge.
I wanted to bring something fresh. So what I did was I sung it like every day for a month, trying to get the drama, like what am I going to do? How am I going to make the audience feel here, there, and whatever? But that I prioritize definitely the feeling aspect. So I think we'll end that there. I think that was some good. Thanks for good music you were playing,
yeah.
And I think I look forward to hearing your recording on YouTube with the elegy.
Yeah, man. I'll definitely at some point, yeah.
And the way, just by listening to you play, I'm just going to assume that you're a chill guy.
Oh yeah, I am pretty chill.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like when you listen to someone play, you get to know who they are as a person. Only if they play from a genuine part of their soul, So only if and only if.
100%, yeah.
So, sorry. Let's move on to Aaron. Aaron Rockford Neves.
Hey, Xavier.
How's it going, man?
I'm great. How are you?
Definitely seen you before.
Yeah. So I'm gonna, again play the Von Hall first movement.
Oh, I know this guy. So.
Who's that? I heard her voice. Let's play the Van Hall. And what are you going to do differently? Explain to everybody what your game plan is now from the previous time you played the Van Hall.
Yeah, so I played the Van Hall for Xavier a couple of times before, and he kind of stresses a couple of ideas. One of the big things is this 15-second thing. You take 15 seconds to think of what you want to do, and like he told Will, you got to sing the piece before you play it. And like just intonation and other stuff that bass players struggle with. But I'm gonna try my best.
So what are you going to do differently this time that you didn't do last time?
Maybe sing it differently in my head.
Okay. So we're going to see Aaron play the Van Hall, but this time he's going to think it differently in his head.
Yeah.
Hey, let me stop you there, man. I think that's all we need to hear. All I need to hear. Yeah, you're definitely doing more musical things. Like when you play the da ba da 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 ba da 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 dee. When you went from the octave jump and you went down, I really felt that. That was really cool, man. Mad props to that. I'll be cool if you did that for the entire thing that you were just playing. But it seemed like you were nervous in the beginning. Am I right?
Partly that, but partly just trying to kind of translate in a way from my head to the bass.
Also, I think your top string is sharp.
Is it?
I think a little bit.
Oh, okay.
Because when I heard a harmonic, it was really up there. No, actually, it's fine. I don't know what happened. Like you played a harmonic up there. It was, but anyways, I don't know. It just seemed in the beginning a little rushed, even though it might not have felt that way, and that inhibited your ability to play clean technique. Like the jumps were fast, and that's what it sounded. What do you think was going on there?
Ooh. Yeah, I think it's because I'm nervous and just like I said before, translating it. I could try again if you want.
How many seconds did you take before you played the Van Hall?
Maybe about 10 seconds, not 15.
No, before you played just now.
Yeah.
No, just went for it.
No, I thought in my head and I was like thinking.
Try it again. I'm just worried because the first time is the one time that matters. The second time doesn't matter because you don't get a second chance when you perform. The first time is what matters. So I'm hesitant of giving you a second chance, even though we want to give you a second chance, but that's not how it works in recitals or in auditions. The first time is the only time.
Okay.
So you're going to play it better the second time. I know you're going to play it better.
Yeah, it doesn't matter because it's not the first time.
All right, get it another shot. Hey, let me stop you there. So in that run that goes up, I'm just when I hear let's see, I'm in solo tuning, so it's going to sound a little different. But I wasn't able to, Aaron. I wasn't able to hear the notes at all. Did you feel that when you were doing that? I was like, did you hear anything or technical wise? Was there something going on in that run up there?
I didn't feel anything wrong, but
Okay, well, I'm wondering if there's a way where we can understand it more. You know, because what I heard was. So look at my bow. When I'm exaggerating, but look at my bow. Like I'm barely moving it, and that's why the sound isn't coming. I'm wondering if we use more bow there. We can get a nice, more projecting sound. You want to try that specific section there and using a little more bow? I think the note, this one right here, kind of gets cut out, so I'm not able to hear that. It might be an intonation thing. I need to hear every note like you're playing it on a piano, right? If there's some variance in intonation there, it doesn't sound like you're going up like a perfect piano scale, right? So I think what'll help there, honestly, is if you play that section in particular slow. What do you think about that?
Slow. Like when that if I'm playing this with like accompaniment, wouldn't that throw it off if I play it slower?
No, this is just for practice.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's just for practice sake, so we can hear. I just want to make sure that we as an audience hear all the notes clearly. So what you want to just play it through slowly, that section, and make sure maybe use more bow and make sure you can hear that hear that raw intonation there when you're doing it. Do it one more time, and the F sharp down here, and then the leading tone. We need to hear that. That specific note, it didn't come through the first time. The second time it did, but just one more time, and listen to like maybe when you're in your head thinking about those ideas, we can do actually that'll help is you visualize your left hand on the fingerboard. That's what I do. I kind of see the fingerboard and kind of feel it, So maybe try something like that. It's getting better. But it's little things like that that'll make the difference, Aaron. And I know you probably think that you're doing it right, and I understand that. but it's the times where we think we're doing something the best we can, but we know we can do better. That's the best way, to grow. That's how growth works. We think we're doing everything right, but we know we can do better. And I know you can do better. And I think the slow practice and making sure I can hear those tones very clearly and very in tune will allow me to make that connection, like I talk about all the time, will allow me to make the connection where it sounds like someone's playing up a keyboard. Da 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 da, and that way it sounds flawless. And that's the kind of feeling I would like to get out of that. I mean, I don't know, it depends, but that will help. So what do you think about this, Aaron? I don't want to overload you with information.
Please overload me. It's useful.
Great. Let me see. You play the beginning again?
Okay.
Great. Let me stop you there. So the part where it's right here, I need to we're going into the same thing again like we talked last time. Do I need to repeat myself? What do you think about that section where it's how did you think you played that?
Maybe a little rushed.
Yeah. What was the intonation there like? Were you satisfied? No. And what do you think the solution for that when you practice later on?
Slow practice.
Great. I don't want to repeat myself over because I think you get the point. I think those runs where you're going up and down, it's just nice to hear that intonation. So it sounds like a rising scale and a falling scale. This is classical music. That's kind of the building blocks of how those old classical pieces works. So that's particularly important. So I hope when you practice, you work on the intonation for those runs. Let's see. I think we have time. It depends on how many more we have. I want to hear more of you, but I think Jung Ho, do you want to play or do a little bit more of Aaron? Aaron, are you working on a cadenza by any chance?
I have the Gruber.
Are you able to play
no,
it?
I'm not.
Okay. Is there? I'm gonna hear a lyrical passage. Is there a lyrical passage in there?
Well, I learned the second movement too, but I mean, we kind of want to stick here, right?
Yeah, let's stick here. Play. Just start in the middle somewhere. I just want to hear something different before I move on.
I could do let me see, this part, I guess.
So that's a really good section for singing. Da da dee da dee, ya dum bum ba dee da dee dum ba And what's really nice about this section is that you can really bring out the classical style. So here's an idea for you. When you're practicing this, you can try this, and if you don't like it, it's fine. But so at the end of the phrase, I'm kind of doing like a thing that's very popular in classical music, where right? It's just the way they end the mini phrase, like maybe you can incorporate that into the lyrical passages. Right, distressing. Right. Martin has to leave. Hey, Martin, thanks for coming. Hope you come. He's gone. Never mind. But yeah, maybe try that when you're doing the lyrical passage. Did you understand where I was coming from with that? Great. Let's do it. Let's do that particular spot, and then we'll move on to the next one.
Wait, hold on. Try again.
Also, here's the catch to that section. Again, I really stress this so many times. You probably heard this. It really depends on how you would sing it. When we're playing classical music, we like to. It would be nice to stick with how they played it back in the day, and that's kind of one of the techniques they use. So listening to classical singers will give you an idea of how you would sing it. Now, another way to play that, right? That's one way of going about it. I wouldn't do that personally, honestly, but that's a way of going about it. But each their own. But right, because what I'm thinking about when I sing is I want to make that rising motion. It's a little bit of that concept with the stressing, but I'm sustaining all the notes, right? Another player might do this. Maybe their goal is to make the hall ring and have a lot of détaché. Maybe no vibrato. Right, that's what someone else might do, but the whole point is like, I have an idea that I'm trying to convey. So those are ideas. You don't have to do them, but when you're coming up with ideas, when you're singing it, maybe you can use those. So that's the whole point there. I don't want to make you do something that you don't want to do. Right? So I think I'll leave it there and go into the next basis. Any final questions, Aaron?
Final questions.
It's the final count.
So, like, if you had to emphasize one single aspect of, like, performing, like, Devon Hall or, Bottesini or anything, what would you, because you've played a lot of stuff, like, you've had a lot of recitals and competitions and stuff, right? So, in your input, in your wise words, what would you say?
I mean, was that a Facebook message? What was that?
Oh no, that was some That was my end. It was a text message.
So the fan hall, I think the biggest thing to focus on for this one is the intonation, because it's like van hall that's classical, like classical, and when I'm able to hear those steps, like the whole steps versus half steps, the suspensions, I really need to hear those. So sort of like Bach. The important thing, Bach too, is intonation. I need to hear the differences between the tones, and that's what kind of makes Bach pop, because they relied on intonation, tonality, to make the piece come alive. Maybe a little phrasing here and there, like maybe like rising motions or stuff like that. But the intonation, I think, is one of the basic things I need to come across. If I'm a judge for a competition, intonation is definitely one of the things I would like to hear. Now, for romantic pieces like Botticini or something like that, where there's a lot of vibrato, you can kind of get away with intonation, because it's like sometimes you're doing slides to a tone. Sometimes you're doing a lot of vibrato where you don't really hear the tone that much, but you hear the intensity. But with Van Hall, I want to hear that da da dee ba da 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 bum dee dum bum ba da da ba da 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 bee dum bum. It's like a different art form, right? A little different than romantic. You're using stresses and suspension. Yum bottom bum. Yum job bottom bum. That's, I think, yeah. That's my answer to your question. I hope that helps.
Yeah.
Awesome, man. Good job. I really appreciate you sticking with one particular piece and not moving on to something else, and mastering a piece. And that, I think, that'll help you move forward with other pieces. So mad props to sticking with one piece and working on that. So awesome. Who's next? Is it Matt? I've been watching Matt with his ball getting ready to play, and I feel bad. Like, this guy's ready to go. Let's hit it, man.
Right.
Where are you playing?
So I'm going to be playing Beret from the third suite.
Awesome. Are you new to the classes, by the way?
Yes, sir, I am.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Where'd you hear about it? I'm just curious.
Your Instagram page. I wanted to join sooner, but my work has me working full time right now, so I mean, kind of difficult to get in here.
Are you an essential worker?
Yeah, I guess so. I work fast food, so I guess that counts as
Yo,
essential.
that's essential, man. We got to eat.
Yes, sir. We got to American essential.
America. All right, so let's hear the Beret. We're right to the third suite, right?
Yes, sir.
All right, let's hear.
All right.
Cool, man. Let's do an exercise.
Okay.
So I'm gonna try to play it like you played it, so we can hear what we were hearing.
Gotcha.
And before I do that, here's a question for you. What do you know about the Bach cello suites?
It's pretty much like the definition of Baroque music. You know, you want to do a whole lot of phrasing because there's no accompaniment, so you can take time where you want to. Little vibrato is Baroque, and I mean, I know a little bit about like just how like the layout of each movement is. I know like the prelude is kind of just like noodling around, you know, it's kind of like a warm up of sorts. I know, and then the beret here is kind of like the happy sad contrast. Pretty much all I got.
Anything about dance?
I will say I do not know. I don't know as much as I should about this.
I'm gonna do everybody a favor here, because just remind myself. We're gonna figure out what a beret is. Now, I know from my personal experience of music history that a beret is a type of dance that they used in the Baroque era. Does everybody else agree or disagree with that? Maybe you can type in the chat if you have any opinions about that. I do believe that, from my experience, that a beret is a dance that they used in the Baroque era. So does anybody know what a beret is? Because each dance in the Bach cello suite, it has a time signature that's somewhat different from each other. Some are in 3, some are in 2, some are in 4. What's the time signature for the beret?
This one's in cut time.
Cut time. So basically two feel. Let's say call it in bluegrass. So da da bing ba da bum bum ya da ba bum ba da dum ba da bum bum ya da 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 dum. Right? And Zachery just played the minuets to the first suite, and that's bum bum bing ba da da be da ba da ba ba. That's in 3.
Yeah.
I know it's in 3 because it feels like it's in 3.
Right.
But for your performance of the beret, I couldn't tell what time and signature that was in.
Okay. So you're saying I need to do more with like making sure it's obvious where the beats are placed. Okay.
And I need to feel like I know what time, like, I don't even, it's not about knowing the time. I just need to feel some kind of pulse.
Right.
And knowing the history of the Bach cello suites and the history of the French, these are, again, tell me if I'm wrong, everybody. I believe these are French dances. These are influenced by the French dances. These are French, right? And so if we look at the history, we'll know more about, okay, where do we stress certain beats in each movement, right? Some beats are stressed over others. So that's something great to know when we're playing the beret. So after we're done with this class, if you're interested in knowing more about like I believe if you know more of the history behind this will help you determine how to play the Bach cello suites.
Right.
That's my whole point. So back to the exercise that I was going to have you do. I'm going to play the way you played it, and I'm going to see if you can dance in your chair or in your stool to the way I'm playing it. Right? I'm going to try to do what you did. I think I remember. So. It's been a while since I played it, so forgive me. How was that?
There's a fluctuation, like with the tempo, the way I'm playing it.
There's fluctuation. Now see if you can dance to this.
All right. Yeah. Yeah. I'll see what you're saying. Yeah.
So in the chat, do you prefer the first version or the second version? Let's see what they think, because everybody has an opinion of their own. What do you guys think? So Aaron says, can you offer one-on-one lessons again? Absolutely. Just email me. And he says second. Will says second. Hey, Zachary, what do you think? Second sounds more vocal too. Awesome. Khrushchev says second. And I think the jury has come out with their decision, a unanimous decision, and they believe that the second version was more dance-like.
Right.
And we know that the Bach cello suites are based on French dances. Therefore, I think the best way to play the Bach cello suites is to make it sound like something we can dance to. Yeah. So why don't you give it a shot again, and you can be mindful of the audience and make us dance.
All right. So something more stable like that.
Yeah, I think you rushed here and there, and that was due to technical difficulties.
Yeah, that's one of my tendencies. That's one of my bad habits. I like to rush.
Yeah, why do you think you rush?
I mean, it's really. I think the reason is like I kind of get ahead of myself. I'm not really thinking about like why I'm playing something. It's more just like what's on the paper, and I want to get it done. It's
you just want to get it over with.
Pretty much. It's like, here comes the hard part. Let's do this.
I see. And guess what?
You gotta put meaning behind the notes.
I said, what I was going to say is that comes across when you just want to get it over with. That's how I feel when I listen to you play. It just sounds like it's hard music and you just want to get it over with. But what if we could, as an audience, feel safe and comfortable in our seats knowing that this person, Matt, is here to make us feel awesome feelings. Feelings of dance and, when he plays the harmonies, he's really drawing out like two voices. Because when I play this, so William Penn says, I played this for my jury, and one of my educators said that the same thing regarding the dance feel. Yeah, absolutely. And another thing I try to do to take it to another level is each of these little phrases in the Bach, I try to bring that out or to make it clear of what I'm doing. So that's one statement, and then you have this. And then you have, so I'm about to. It's like I'm trying to make the audience, like when they're listening, they hear ya-da-dum, ba-da-dum, ya-da-da-dum, ya-da-dum, ya-da-dum, yum-da-da-da-da. And that kind of makes them ya-da-da-da, right?
Yeah, it makes more interesting. Draw the audience in.
And it's like some people prefer not to go to dance clubs or to raves or you can go crazy. They just want to sit down, but they still want to dance. And so that's why they want to go to classical concert, because they don't have to get up. Maybe they're old, 80 years old. They just don't have it in them like back in the day. They just want to sit in their chair and still be able to feel it.
Yeah.
And so that's like, it's like, yeah. And they're in the chair like this. That's when you know you're doing something right. When you can feel it, or your eyes are closed, you can just feel it. Oh, right? So many lines. Yum, yum, because that's exactly what I'm trying to do as a musician.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to magically move you in your chair. That's what I get paid to do. So, let's play one more time, knowing all of this. Let's see if you can move us in a chair. And when you get onto those hard parts, just relax. I don't know.
Oh, yeah, it goes here and there, but yeah. I mean, I understand what you're saying now. It's like, you got more like interesting stuff to it, more musical contrast.
It looks like your internet is a little. I couldn't.
Is my Wi-Fi going on right there?
Is my internet working? Can you guys hear me? Hello?
It's probably mine that's not working.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Yeah, sometimes my internet didn't work. But yeah, let's move on to the next person. What I think would be cool is if I'm going to upload this recording. This is recorded. That way you can listen to the segment. And I think once you get the rhythm right and it sounds solid rhythmically, the next thing you can do is you can bring out those different snippets like of music. Ya da dum, ba da dum, yum yum da da bum, ya da bum, ba da bum, yum ha da da dum. You know. So,
yeah.
Hey man, thanks for playing, and
Thanks for all the help.
yeah, absolutely. Hope to see you again.
I will be back. Thank you.
I'll be back. Let's go to we'll get to Giselle after Zhang Hui, who I believe is here. Zhang Hu Li. Sorry.
Hello?
Zhang Hu Li.
Hello, is my mic working?
Your mic is working, but I can't see you.
Okay, I have to set my camera, I'm sorry.
What I do see is a white square.
Yes.
Is that you?
Could you give me a second?
Yeah, sure. So how is everybody doing on this fine Saturday? It'll be just Remy today. Okay. Drove 5 hours for what? Where are you going? Oh, y'all in Florida. Dang, man, it's hot there. It's real hot there. It's hot over here. It was 90-something degrees 2 days ago in Philadelphia. Will says, yo, looks like we have some friends in the chat.
Yeah, so me and Remy, we met in 8th grade, Florida All-State Honors Orchestra. And then like we were like we kind of like we're pretty good friends over there. And then we haven't seen each other since for like 4 years. And then for our Frost School of Music audition, like we ran into each other. And like now we follow each other like social media and stuff. And like we hype each other up. So
Hey, well there you go.
I didn't realize he was in here until he just posted on the chat.
All right,
So, hi,
it's a
Remy.
reunion. It's a reunion, guy. Yeah.
A little bit. Representing Florida.
All right.
Representing.
Remy says, Will is a G.
Thanks, Remy.
Hey. So, Jung-Hoo, are you ready?
Yeah, can you hear my bass?
Oh, that's great. Maybe you can scoot back a little so we can see your bow.
See my what?
Maybe you can scoot back a little so we can see your bow hand.
Oh,
Yeah, that'd be nice. Everyone needs bromance like Remy and Will. Yeah, absolutely. Bromance. Way to go. Good. Oh, nice shirt. Do you have a corporate sponsor? I don't think you heard me. I'll let that pass. I said nothing. Joe, can you hear me?
yeah.
Awesome. I'm
Um,
saying nice shirt. Is that a corporate sponsorship?
oh, me?
Yeah.
It's my pajama. But I'll be playing Kusvisky today. Concerto.
Which movement?
First movement.
All right. I might stop you in the middle if that's okay.
Okay.
All right. Let's hear it.
Is my sound okay?
Yeah, that's great.
Okay. What's the time I go?
Good to have you there. Congrats, man. Sounds good. Awesome. Hey, Zach, are you there?
Yes, yes. Hi, can you hear me?
What do you think about that? I'm gonna let the St. Paul principal faces speak about this one. I'm surprised you're staying till the end, man.
Well, no, this is a beautiful thing, and I feel grateful. Yeah, well, do you want me to, I can comment. I played this a couple years ago, and
Okay.
wow. Yeah. So, I mean, if you play this with orchestra, I think that, like, I'll just jump into it. Like, after the chord, the piano plays or the orchestra plays, and then you play the B or the C sharp in solo tuning, like, I think your playing has to be a little bit more reactionary. So it's like, so they play don 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 don, and then it's like, what happens now, and so I think, like, well, what you're doing really well, I think, is that, like, I think you understand, like, the structure of it in some way. I think that yeah, maybe also with your playing you can dig in a little bit more, like, you can, like, feel the notes between the notes, the like, da 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 dia 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 da, in between the notes, in between the notes. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Not sure.
like, da ya di da di da di da da ya da di da di da ba ya. Yeah, like, like, as this goes exactly back to what Xavier was talking about with vocal, because this is bel canto style, and it's Russian bel canto singing, which is my favorite because I'm part Russian. Anyway, yeah, it sounds really good. I would, I don't know if you understand some of the things I was saying, but yeah.
Hey, thanks, Zach. Yeah, I appreciate your input.
Sure.
Not often I play this piece. Everybody wants to hear Bottesini this, Bottesini that. Little Nina Rota. But I wish I could play this. I really like it. I like the Kusavisky. There's so many things you can do with this piece. And that's why I want to, that's why I have a few things to say about your Kusavisky, John Ho. And I want to unlock the possibilities for this concerto that can be overlooked sometimes as an easy one compared to a lot of other ones. So in the beginning, just in the beginning, this is an opportunity for us to really sing like an opera singer. And you already know that what I'm probably going to say, Jean Paul, because you've been in a lot of my classes. But right here, it's I'm trying to expand the concert hall with my Saronian sound. And I play it like I sing it. So I'm wondering if you can sing it. I don't know, man. I don't know how great. I mean, I've been singing a lot, so that's kind of why the voice is a bit big. But I'm wondering if you can sing it in a way that it sounds like you're introducing an epic opera.
Right now, sing it.
Right now, Miles says, Xavier, thank you for this class. Fortunately, other commitments are calling. I'll have to keep my open. Hey, man, thanks, Miles, for coming. I really appreciate it. And, oh, yeah, he's here. Yeah, thanks, man. Hope to see you next time. All right, so, Jung Ho, let's hear your operatic entrance to the Kusevitsky.
I'm probably gonna be out of tune, but
You said auto-tune?
out of tune, but yeah.
Oh, man. All right, let's hear it. Yeah, that's a way of going about it. Sounds timid. That's how I felt when I heard you sing. I felt like you were shy.
So,
And if that's the way you sing it,
I mean,
go
can't
for
really
it.
sing.
If you want to make a shy Kusevitsky, play a shy Kusevitsky. I just need to know what feeling I'm supposed to be feeling.
No, I really.
It is absolutely okay to play this like you're shy. It's absolutely okay to play like you're trying to sound timid. I just need to hear that feeling. That's all I'm asking for as an audience, right? It doesn't have to sound giant opera. That's the way I do it because that's the way I interpret it. People interpret things different ways. People play the same piece differently than other people. We all know this as a fact. So the way you play it was interesting, and I think you can sell it, actually. Even though I've never heard it played like that on a professional recording, which is okay. Maybe you will be the first to play like that. So what I heard was this, and, you know, it's a... And then you were like... Right? I'm trying to make it sound shy and timid. I'm not, the way I usually do it is the orchestra. Boop, boop. Well, not the thing, but right, I'm trying to propel the sound to make the orchestra. It's a lot of drama. That's how I will play it. But your way is different. And I think they both can work. So when you play it, Jean-Louis, play it in a way that I can understand what you're feeling. So if you play it like how you sing it, then I'm going to hear shy sound. So
I just can't sing loud right now because my family's in my house and like and all this stuff. But I would rather play this like aggressive, like fast and loud. I just cannot sing like that right now.
And that's actually a way of going about it. Playing it in a way that you can't. It's amazing how music has so many possibilities.
Yeah.
So let's just hear a feeling. Joe, let's try this. Play that same interest again. Play it a little slower.
Slow?
And see how much you can stretch it out. That's one way of going about it. Now this time, make it sound like you're going down a staircase. The way you can do that is to speed up. When you're beginning, speed up a little bit until you get to that low point. Dee da dee dee ba bim ba 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 bum 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 bum. Like a rolling, something like that. I'm trying to give you ideas. So. Absolutely. Absolutely. I take that. I was able to understand what you were going for there. It sounded like I could make a connection. Oh, as an audience member, it sounds like, it sounds like he's tumbling down. I was able to say that in my head as an audience member, and I got my money's worth. Thank you.
Okay.
Now, for the next phrase, think of something that I can understand and that I can say to all of these people in the chat what I think you were trying to do. Like, you just need to be clear. So think of an idea for the second phrase.
Do we tell what I'm thinking about?
So when you're playing the next part, sorry. Hi, Jazz.
Hello, sorry, I'm late.
Yeah, no problem. No problem. Just mute. Can you mute your mic for a second because we can hear a lot of background noise.
Oh yeah, thank you.
Yeah, no problem, man. So in the next phrase, think of an idea, and when you play it, make it so I can understand what that idea is. It's like playing a game of Pictionary, but music version. I need to be able to describe what you're trying to do musically.
Okay.
Okay. So what I heard was a normal tempo, and then you kind of stretch out the second part. That's all I can say about that.
I was thinking of something like tragedy.
How can we make it sound more tragic in a way that I can understand that it sounds tragic?
I'm not sure.
That's where we have to really work at it. We have to brainstorm and come up with innovative ideas. Right?
Yeah.
So when you say you're not sure right now, but perhaps tomorrow or when you sleep and when you have those dreams, you can then come up with an idea. So it's okay to not know now, but I think we get the point. Just come up with, I just need to be able to understand your tragic idea. It needs to sound tragic. I know how I would make it sound tragic, but I don't want to tell you what to do consistently. I want you to be able to come up with those ideas yourself. So when you grow up, you don't need people like me telling you what to do. You're autonomous, like the autonomous zone in Seattle, Washington. So I think while we're done here, let's move on to Remy and just Remy with Giselle, but Remy is just playing. But Jaho, thanks so much for playing that Kusavici. I'm sorry we didn't get to hear it all. But good luck, and tell your teacher I said hi.
Okay.
And your parents too.
Okay.
Yeah, good job, Jungho. That was good. Very good. Okay, so I'm gonna play the first movement of Bottesini B minor concerto, the second one for you. You can stop me wherever. Basically, what I'm gonna focus on, I guess, in this one. Oh yeah, by the way, can you hear me? Is it good?
Yeah, I can hear you very well.
Okay, cool. I have a microphone an external mic that I plugged in. Yeah, I'm just gonna focus. I'm trying for this to work on phrase sound, so everything doesn't sound monotonous.
No, I have to say that your screen is small, and it looks like your bandwidth. It's saying your bandwidth is low, so I won't be able to see you play. Mostly because your frames per second is so low. I'm wondering if there's someone downloading anything to
Yeah,
cause
we're just
that to happen.
we're having a couple internet issues right now.
Oh, okay. But I can hear you fine. That's what matters.
Okay. Yeah, I think that's what matters most is that you can hear me and that there's like a stable sound so that I can hear. Yeah.
So let's hear it.
Is original sound on?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. You want me to keep going or no?
Yeah, keep going.
All right.
So this is going to be, that was great, man. Oh. Uh-oh. What's going on? What's going on? All right, I'm losing my connection or something. Oh, shit. Hello? Okay, looks like
a
your
little
internet
bit.
went out.
No. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
At all?
Now I can hear you.
Please.
Okay. So I was freaking out because like everybody froze in their Zoom, and maybe it was me. I don't know. Matt is right. We can hear everything but the cadenza.
Yeah, I stopped. So.
Okay, so hopefully just go out again so you can hear what I say. I was gonna say the beginning was great. It was very clear what you were trying to convey. It sounds like you established your own voice with a beginning, and I think you get the idea. This is I don't know why, but this was. And I'm sure you agree with me. This was much better than your other Bodycity. Am I safe to say that? Remy, are you there?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Oh no, absolutely.
I think this reminds me of my days of playing what's that game? Counter-Strike or World of Warcraft, where there's so much lag that you press a button to move and you move 5 seconds later. I think that's what's going on here. It's like Remy's in the past and I'm in the future. Are you there, Remy? Oh, okay, he says, okay, maybe we can type. Maybe you can type your answer while you hear me talk. I mean, there isn't much for me to say personally because my whole thing about teaching is to remind folks that, oh, he's gone. He's gone. He's back. He's back.
Can you hear me?
Now we can hear you.
I switched to my phone.
I switched to my phone for this.
This is awesome, man. So we can hear you now, but it sounds like you're, yeah.
I was able to hear everything you were saying, but it seemed like nothing was getting across.
No, you just froze, and we're like, is he there? So
that's awful. I'm really sorry.
No problem. So now you can hear me.
Yeah.
What I was saying is the beginning was fantastic. It was clear. Your voice, your ideas. I could write a lot of things about my impression of what I was hearing, which is great. It means when I come to your concert and I'm a concert reviewer, I have a lot of things to write about, and I have a lot of things to say, which is the whole point. Honestly, you're ready. I mean, I think you're ready to play it in front of the orchestra. Obviously, there's some things we need to clean up with the technical stuff. Some things here and there. I think you can figure it out yourself.
Yeah, I've only been playing this for I took a year break from this because I've been playing this for a few years now, and I only came back to it about a week ago.
Right. So I'm sure if you spent 3 more weeks to a month, it'd be fine. So I don't have much to say. I really don't need to say anything. It's great. I think you the more you play it, the better it gets. So
thank you. Appreciate that.
Is there any questions you want to ask me?
I'm trying to think. Do you think that? So I know for Bottesini, some people like to play in terms of I'm going to talk like purely technical. Some people like to do fingerings like on the G string as much as they can, and they just do as much shifting as possible. And there's other people I know, for example, Edgar Meyer, who likes to do as smart as fingerings as they can get. So I just wanted to know sort of what you think about that.
What do you think I would think about that? What do you think my response is?
Well, you're probably going to lean more toward what Edgar has to say because you studied with Hal and Edgar at Curtis. So.
No, that's not what I'm. What do you think? After knowing me and hearing me repeat the same information over and over, what do you think I'm going to say?
It's all about sort of like, yeah, singing it like what Rocky said.
Right. So whatever fingering you're doing, as long as it aligns with the way you sing it personally, it'll work.
Okay.
I mean, there are obviously better fingering choices that help you play the piece the way it should be played, in, like intonation and stuff. But if we can hear all the notes, then whatever choices you make, as long as it sounds natural and human. I mean, the way Edgar plays it, that's how he would probably sing it. Just knowing Edgar, he is more on the timid side. I'm sure he won't mind me saying it.
Mm-hmm.
We all know it in bass class and Curtis. And that's the way he goes about things. That's when you hear him play, it's a little relaxed, a little chill, not so out there. That's Edgar. Who knew? And remember what I said in the beginning of class, you can really tell about a person based on their playing. Only if they're playing from an honest place. So that is my response to your question.
Okay. Yeah, that's a good answer. I like that. I like that a lot. That helps a lot.
Yeah, so like, I don't know you too well, but you feel like a decent person. You know yourself better than anybody else, obviously. And if you can convey that through your playing, then I think that's the best way, man.
Thank you.
We all know Joe. Anybody know Joe Conyers? He's an intense person. I'm sure he won't mind me saying that. I'm sure he'll be like, yeah, I am intense. There's a big buff dude, like, and when he plays, that stuff is intense, man.
Oh. Jeez.
Right? Who knew that? We can tell based on his playing that, he plays intensely and he's an intense person. Voila. There you go. So, Joe, Ethan, Ethan said Joe should join next class. I emailed Joe to see if he could come to our extra class, and he was busy with his 440 non-for-profit thing. But he said he could come today. I just didn't get back to him. He could have came today, honestly. I should. I'm so sorry. I'll try again next time. I swear.
Promise.
Joe would have been here. I apologize. But yeah. So I don't have much to say. Anybody else have anything to say? I don't want to get too much on the technique. I mean, obviously, you spend a week on it, recovering it. I'm not going to say anything. Maybe you can come next class 3 weeks later or 2 weeks or whatever when you figured out all the intricacies. And then we can talk about fingering choices and all that. But I think that's your job right now is to figure out yourself and what you think is best for you. So Ethan says just have a workout session. What do you mean? Because Joe does work out a lot. He's a big dude. Imagine playing your concerto and bam, Joe Conyers pops in. There you go. Zach, any input from you? I'm sure you've played this a gazillion times. Zach?
No, I'm just enjoying listening to you.
Oh yeah, that works too. Yeah. So I know we're running out of time now. I think Ethan wanted to play something. No, yes, maybe. It'll have to be really short, Ethan.
I could if you want me to. I can do the trio quickly.
I can barely hear you, Ethan.
I said I could play something quickly if you wanted me to. I can do the trio.
Play the trio to the Beethoven 5. Let's hear it.
Ugh. Ow. I'm getting old.
This guy. Will Penn says, by the way, oh, we got a plug. We got some clout going on. By the way, if you guys want,
charge him for saying that. Just now.
huh?
So charge him for putting a promo on.
I should. $10, man. You know what my PayPal is. iPlayBase.com, man. Go ahead and follow Will to play bass if you want to follow Will. I'm sure he's got some good stuff. All right, let's hear it. Awesome, man.
Thank you.
Yeah, I was thinking what this specific not A2 excerpt. What I would listen for if I was in a committee is your ability to execute those strokes when it sounds loud, and how do you play those strokes when it's pianissimo or like when it's really soft.
Right.
Obviously, there's no conductor in your audition, which would be nice to have. Obviously, to know if you can follow the conductor and to play it like the specific symphony plays it. So we don't have that. But I think the important thing that this excerpt is showing is your a stroke. I can't hear it 100% clearly through the internet, but it sounded good. And the way you executed to the softer the piano was very good. I think there was some note you missed. Do you recall missing a note or something?
At the end.
Yeah, something wasn't in the music that I recall. So you might want to check that out. But I mean, if I was in the audition committee and I can hear your stroke very well, that's all I really want. I don't want someone who can play like a bogus stroke, who like just can't play the stroke. I need that stroke. Right. And I think you have it. Zachery, knowing that you probably played this before and have probably sat in auditions for the State Ball Chamber Orchestra, what would you look for in this particular excerpt? And what did he do that he could have done better or he's already doing?
Yeah. Well, what I like is that, like, I know that if I was going to be playing next to you, that I would feel like, oh, this person knows the notes and you can get around the excerpt, and the rhythm was pretty good. I think that, like, if we were going to get down to it, I think intonation is really important on this excerpt because people know it so well, especially when you get higher on the G string. And maybe also, like, since it gets so quiet at the end, maybe the dynamic in the beginning can be more. Okay. You know, when you were just about to start playing it, I thought you were going to do 2 down bows, and I was like, wow, that would be amazing. You know, for the first note, anyway, yeah, as Xavier said, awesome.
Yeah, man, it's great. Yeah, that's something that I think Zach points out is, like, when a bass player listens to your audition, they're trying to figure out how this person will blend in the section. And obviously intonation is a must for this excerpt because, like you said, everybody knows it. And if they don't want you to stand out by playing the wrong intonation and you become a soloist.
Right.
right? So, anybody else have any input in the chat? I thought it was great. I think he's on the right track. Just maybe play it more and fix that one note that I heard. Because they're trying to find, if there's so many great bass players audition, you're just going to try to find one reason, to say, oh, okay, that one note, boom. Like, yeah, we don't want that to happen. So, Remy and Giselle says it sounded great. Will Penn says tempo and bell strokes sounded pretty solid. Aaron says if you have a strong pulse, it carries itself. So it looks like maybe be careful with rushing the syncopated octaves. So maybe you were rushing that.
Yeah,
and
when
that
the
there, it's
slur
like
broke. I felt like I started rushing there.
Yeah, then they're going to say, oh, well, if he's playing octaves, then maybe that means you can't play them in tempo. Like, they might think that. I don't know. Crazy, man. Thanks for pointing that out, Vic Astorius. Matt says, I played this excerpt for Jeff Turner, and he said to make sure to use a lot of phrasing in the quarter notes at the beginning. Okay. Bum, 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 bum. So you know what I would do is, and it really depends on the conductor, honestly, I don't know, but bum, ba da 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 bum, 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 bum. Like, it's like, I kind of think of that. Bum, 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 bum. Right? That's something you could bring out, I think, just so the committee knows that you can phrase something like this. Like, do anything, really. As long as it makes historical sense. So, maybe try it, play it again. And do you have any phrasing ideas for the beginning of that?
Yeah, just kind of more of a pulse feel, not pulsing every note. I know that I did that when I just played it, and bring out the E and the F. So yeah, I'm gonna try the double down. I never thought of that.
Let's hear it. Hey, Ethan.
Yeah.
You know, I just thought of something that might get you extra points. Sorry, my motive. Okay, check this out. So when you're playing the beginning, bum, ba, da, 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 and forgive me, I haven't played this excerpt in ages, so it might not sound the best, but the beginning part, where it's bum, see, there we go. You see my AC back there? Boom. Okay, so what I was thinking is I want to hear that shape. Bum, ba, da, da, ba, 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 bing, bum, 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 you know?
Right.
Like, I know I'm not playing the best, but I want to hear bum, ba, da, da, ba, 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 bing, bum, 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 bum. And so when the next section is bum, ba, 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 you know, when I listen to this excerpt, I do hear like that phrasing to that point. Bum, bum, ba, 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 bing, bum, bum. You can do little things here. Right? Some orchestras do that. Where yum ba da da ba I love this. I love this excerpt, man. It's so much potential. But yeah, if we can hear more of these little things, I think that'll score you more points. Maybe try phrasing it to that point.
Okay.
Great, man. Yeah. And I'm gonna stop here because we're out of time. But yeah, if you could do like those little small things that we might not think matter, but it actually really matters when you have that little phrase going on. That tells the committee that you have this musical sense, right? Most of the people, and Zachary, correct me if I'm wrong, a lot of bass players and instrumentalists in general, they come into an audition, they play the excerpt like robotic, like a MIDI would play it, right? But it's in that rare event that someone comes in and has this musical taste. It's like it's more rare than you think, man. I don't know. And so when someone comes in, right there, that caught my attention. That no other bass player, or not many other bass players, can do for some reason, right? Yeah. And that'll make you stand out from the competition. It's a very competitive environment, I know, for excerpts and orchestra auditions. It's tough, man. But if you can do that, like, I think that'll set you apart. So maybe when you're practicing, think about the phrasing things. Maybe listen to like the Berlin Phil or the Vienna Philharmonic and see what they do, and then I don't know, incorporate that into your Beethoven 5. Any questions about that?
No, I think I know what to do. I pulled this one out. I haven't worked on it in a while, actually.
That's what it was, wasn't it?
I'm not making excuses. You just I agree with you, so hey.
That's fair enough. That's fair enough. So any questions from you guys before we wrap this up?
Yeah, Xavier, just one quick question. So I get like maybe with like solo repertoire, in terms of auditions for solo repertoire, you would kind of like you can get away with kind of using your own interpretation. But say for like an excerpt playing Beethoven 5, would you say for an audition purposes, would you say it would be better to play it in the context of an orchestra, or play it in the context of kind of like your own interpretation for excerpts specifically?
I mean, obviously, so I get what you're saying. Should we play it like how we personally think it should be played, or play it how it would be played in a section?
Yeah.
Is that one?
Sure. Yeah.
I think that best way to answer that is to mostly think about the audition committee you're playing for and what you think they're looking for. So let me ask you, if you are the principal of the New York Philharmonic and you're looking for new bass players to join your entourage, what would you look for so you know that you pick someone who is the best fit for your orchestra, for your section? Who would you think would be the best fit?
So personally, I would pick the person who not just knows their part, but also understands their part in the context of how it fits in with the other parts. So say you're playing Beethoven, like in the scherzo and the trio, not just like them playing. They know when the violins come in, when the violas come in, when the rest of the orchestra comes in as well. And so they adapt to that way. They adapt as they play, basically.
Right. So you're looking for someone who can quickly adapt to situations.
Yeah.
And who has the awareness to listen to others.
Yeah, for sure.
that and what we're doing is we're basically answering your own question through putting yourself in the audition committee's shoes. I also want to say something. Oh yeah, the musical taste aspect. That's another thing that I was talking about Ethan. It's like you have one bass player who can play an excerpt and play it perfectly, and then you have another bass player who can play it perfectly. Then you have another bass player who can play it perfectly. You have 10 bass players who can play the same excerpt perfectly. What do you do?
What I would do is I would actually just replace, like, take the auditionees and then put them in like a rehearsal, and then see how they do there, like within a rehearsal setting. See how they can adjust.
I think we already have that. That's part of the audition process.
Oh, really? I never knew that, actually.
Yeah. So to get tenure,
professional orchestra. So
I think like, for example, the Atlanta Symphony, there was 2 bass players. There was Nate West, and there was another bass player. I don't know who it was, but they were playing with the section, and both of them didn't get the job. Nate West ended up going up to the Philadelphia Orchestra, so I think he's fine. But that's kind of how some of these orchestras work. Zachary, what's the process with yours?
The process here is it's an extensive process since there's not a conductor. So chamber music is involved as well as playing in the orchestra.
But I was going to say, I think it's so hard to explain this with words. When I hear an excerpt, and I listen to a lot of excerpts too, you can tell when someone has artistry, when someone has that what do you say? The magic touch. I don't know how to say it and explain.
No, artistry is the correct word. 100% artistry.
Artistry, like the way you shape things, the way you push and pull, the way you release the stress, like all these little things that we can't explain in words. That comes off very strongly when I hear someone. It's like, oh, okay, this person gets it. They can make it sound like this and make it sound like this. That's a great addition for the section. That's art. We want art. We want artists, not just bass players who play.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And if you can do that, that sets you apart easily. So to answer your question, what do you think after all of this? I mean, I can't give you a definitive answer, but based on all of this, what's your understanding?
No, I agree with what you said. Come to think of it, this question is kind of subjective, because then you would have to like go to like different like audition committees and whatnot, and like they have their own opinion on what they want to hear, what their sound is. But but again, if I were to be on the committee, I would want someone with artistry, like you said, because it's one thing to like you could play the entire scherzo trio, all everything on the audition list, 100% perfect. But then if there's no like human aspect behind that, to me, it's just kind of like, it's like a robot playing, and at that point, you know what I mean? So it's like, just to be genuine, I think has a huge role.
If I'm a conductor and I'm asking the bassist to shape a phrase the way I want it to, and you demonstrate that you can play it perfectly, but you can't shape a phrase, I can't let you in my section. That's all. That's another thing I have to say,
No, for sure. I mean, you always have to know how to phrase and play the part. I mean, that comes. But then what do you prioritize first? That's another question. But I don't want to make this a whole philosophical music conversation. But that's just opening a whole nother layer to the question. But I see what you're saying, though. I agree. Like, you got to know how to phrase and play the part. And
can I say something?
Sure.
Go for it.
Yeah. What I've heard is that like what the conductor basically says goes. Even if they're asking for something that really doesn't make sense, because if from the bass section, and that you as bass player know that it'll it's not conventional, I guess, but you still do it anyway, and then the conductor's gonna realize and be like, okay, never mind. But I think it's like whatever the conductor says. I mean, that's what I heard. I don't know. What do you think, Xavier?
Well, with the conductor, with conductor ensembles, with conductors. Zachery doesn't have a conductor. But typically what happens is in the audition process, the conductor will sit in. That's what I've heard from audition. Like the conductor will come in. Robert Spano, who's the Atlanta Symphony conductor, sat in for the Atlanta Symphony bass auditions. And also what they do is they ask to see if you can play it this way versus that way, which is another thing to consider. How well can you adapt to what the orchestra does? So, yeah, that's all I really have to say. There's not much else to say for me. So that's a very good question. That's a very good question. Thanks for asking that. Whoever, thanks, Will. Appreciate it. So what do you guys think about the next class next Saturday?
I think we should have one.
I'm down.
Awesome.